Well, now we need a camera to follow the vehicle as we drive around. So what we can do is use the standard assets for that. Let's come down here into the assets folder, and right down here under standard assets, let's go into cameras, and then we'll go into prefabs. And here's that multi-purpose camera rig. So I'll just take this and drag it up into the hierarchy and drop it there. And you can see that when I did that, it added a new camera. The problem is within Unity, you can really only have one camera in the scene at a time. So let's take this main camera and let's delete it. Right-click and delete. All right, now for this, if we select this, we have a target right here. And it doesn't have an object in it currently. So what we can do is take this car root and drag it into there and drop it. Now that camera is going to point at that object. So let's give it a try. Let's hit play and see what happens. And there it is. So if we hit the W key, you can see it kind of goes, and we're following it now. It's hard to see because we don't have a texture on our ground plane, but we're following the vehicle now. So I'll hit the X key to come to a stop, and let's go ahead and hit the play button again to turn it off. So if we select that camera, we can maybe get it a little bit better. Let's bring it up some, push it back a little. Maybe we could turn it down a bit too. Let's click on the rotate tool and rotate down just a bit like that. There we go. Let's hit play and let's see how that works. Still not quite right, is it? Let's maybe tilt it down a little bit more here like that. And I'll hit play. And there we go. So now we can see it on the ground. And if we hit W, you can see it moving around, turning. All right, so let's go ahead and turn off the game there. Now that we've got this generally in place, let's bring in an environment to test it. And to do that, I'm going to grab the environment out of the test scene that came with the vehicle tools. So what I want to do, first of all, is be sure and save all of this. So our current scene is this sample scene right here. I'm going to press Control S to save that sample scene. And then I'm also going to click File and Save Project because I want to do that as well. All right, so if we go into our scenes folder here, we can see here's the sample scene we're in now. And here's this test track that comes with the vehicle tools. So I'm going to click on this and let's open this one up. And here we go. Let me zoom out a bit so we can see it. And what you can see here is a whole big test environment. I'm going to click on the track here and hit the F key, and then let's zoom back in here. There we go. So we can see this whole big environment that we can drive around in. Now, it has these vehicles in it that we can play with too. So if let me select that vehicle and hit the F key so you can see this one here. It is set up in a very similar way. It's got the collider cage, it's got the wheels and everything in there. But let's click the play button and see what happens. Let's just click this. And here we go. We can hit the WASD buttons or the arrow keys. We can just hit that and go forward. We can turn. We can just drive around. We can hit the X key to come to a stop. And then we can hit the R key to reset. We can also change vehicles. They have scripts in here so you can change vehicles. I can hit the K key, you can see that here, and change to a race car. You can hit the K key again and change to a truck, and again, and back to the little family sedan here. So this is a great project to kind of see what all the settings here in the vehicle tools do. This easy suspension script, the wheel drive script, you can really get a sense of what it's doing here. But ultimately what I want is just the environment. I'm going to turn this off right here. What I want is just this whole thing to bring into my project so that I can drive around with the car that we've set up. So to do that, I'm going to create another prefab. I'm going to come over here to the environment group here, and let me go down to prefabs. Where's our prefabs here? Here we go. Now it's got environment, rock, ramp, things like that. These are all the individual items that you can drag in here. But what I want is this whole environment right here. So I'm just going to click and drag it right down here. And there it is. So now, if we go back to our other scene, I'm going to go to Scenes and go back to our sample scene that we've been working on. Double click that. And I don't really want to save what I've done here in this scene, so I'll click Don't Save. And here we are back in our scene here. Now, I could take this ground plane and delete it. Let's just right-click and delete. And now, in this prefabs folder right down here, where is it? There it is. I want to take this environment prefab, just drag it right up here. And there we go. There it is. So now we can play around with this in here. Let me choose the car here. And I'll also control-click that multi-purpose camera rig because we want that to stay with our car. And I don't know if you can hear this, but my computer is really working hard. The fan's turned on and everything, and that's because it's trying to bake all the lighting, and I don't need that. I'm going to come over here to the lighting tab here. And if you don't see this, you can always come over here to Window, Rendering, and Lighting Settings here. But I'm going to turn off this Bake Global Illumination just for now. Ultimately, I think I'd want that if I'm going to publish the game, but for now, it's just causing the scene to slow down way too much. All right, I'll go back to the inspector, and let's give this a try. Let's see what happens. I think I want to move that up just a little bit more. Let me do this. Move it up to here, something like that. Okay, so now I'm going to hit play. And there we go. And let's go. Let's see what happens. Going kind of slow. Maybe it'll pick up speed here. Yeah, it's picking up speed a little bit. There it goes. So yeah, we're going to want to adjust the settings here, I think. But yeah, this is kind of cool. I think I want to adjust the camera so I can see ahead of me a little bit better. But yeah. Oh, let's go over this thing. Yes. Oh, that's great. Okay. Let's adjust this again. I'm going to turn off the game. All right. So if I come back over here to the car route, we can see the max torque here is 300. If I want to increase the acceleration, I could take this up to like 350, 400, and you can play with these whatever you want. You know, try different settings here to get the feel that you want. Also, for this vehicle, I don't think it should be just rear-wheel drive. I think it should be all-wheel drive because it's an all-terrain vehicle, right? So let's increase the acceleration with this max torque. We'll change to all-wheel drive. This natural frequency is how bouncy the shock absorbers are, and the damping ratio is how quickly they come back from the bouncing. So you can adjust these however you like as well. The mass is how heavy the vehicle is, so I think maybe I'll change this to 1500. Let's do that. And the max angle here is the turning radius, so how tight of a turning radius it has. All right, let's give this a try again. I'll hit play, and here we go. Yeah, it's picked up a little bit. Well, I increased the acceleration, but I also increased the mass a bit too. But yeah, oh, and I forgot to change the camera, so let me do that. Turn the game off again, and the camera, I want to take this right here, this camera right here. Let's scroll this down actually and choose the main camera. And then I want to tilt it up just a bit. So let me just tilt that up like this. Let's try that. I'll hit play, and here we go again. And off we go. Yeah, let me turn. I'm going to turn through some of this here, see what happens. Oh yeah, you can see the Tires going up and down. That's nice. Yeah, so this is what you need to do is just go through this test environment, test it out. Of course, go off-road a bit if you want, and see how all your settings are affecting everything. Let me find an off-road bit here. Well, I want to get around the railings here. Bump off the railing. Yeah, let's go over here. See what happens. Oh, I love it. There we go. Yeah. So this is doing pretty well. And as I said, you are going to want to go through and try and adjust all these settings the way you want them. Let me go ahead and turn the game off. And of course, just play around and have fun. Because in the end, this should just be a lot of fun.